Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going. Ooh, here we are. Good morning, good morning. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Coming to you live from all the sides of the world.
Yep. Well,
so
here we are for another podcast episode. Thank you all for listening in and joining us. We're going to start off with some highs and lows, things that we like to share, things that were something we experienced that gave us joy for the week or that we were excited about, and then the lows, pieces that surprised us or we just need to air out just to give it some space in our life. So, Linda, you want to go first this time?
Sure. I'm going to start with a low. Feeling a little bit deflated and overwhelmed with the spring season, and just the garden has gone berserk with weeds everywhere. I pulled out 5 huge piles yesterday of weeds and still feel like I didn't even make a dent in it. And it's windy and raining and windy again, and it's just, I love spring for the planting and new growth and flowers and like so many things I love about spring, but the wind is really dragging me down right now. Mm-hmm. So, yep. Mm-hmm. And a high for me, oh goodness, I think I'm just in between wind and garden and all of the things. I'm finding a bit of time to carve out for reading at the moment, which has been amazing. Again, just to have that bit of escape and get through really good books and good characters and just, as much as I can, and then I'll get up to a really good bit and get a gazillion interruptions, and I'm like, at the same time. So it's a mixed bag, but it's been very enjoyable. Yep. What about for you?
Oh man, let's see. I'm gonna go with my high first this time, but last week was surprisingly a good week. There was a little bit of pressure around the week because of pretty much my low, but it was really good. I started a new Bible study that I've been going to with some other, it's a virtual Bible study with some other people who are around the world that I met through my virtual assistant program, which is very cool. Awesome. And then we had the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit that was exceptionally well, that I was one of the MCs for. So it was very fun to be to be playing a different role. Had a really good meeting and did Sticky No Time weekend. So it's just like a nice break of really good things that had a little bit of pressure behind it, but were done well and surprised me at how great they had been. On the flip side of that, life was happening, which was my lows. My dad had a situation where he ended up in the hospital. They thought it was like the end times, and it really was just pneumonia, and then he needed antibiotics, and he's back to his perky self to be stable enough to come home. He's still not doing great, but he's home, and we'll see what happens in the next days and weeks. But we're still there, and unfortunately had some other bad news that after finding out some good news, which was, we were only a couple of weeks, but we did find out we were pregnant and then lost the baby within just a week of finding out. So that all like piggybacked within the last 2 weeks, really, of everything happening. So, it's just been really challenging to share the feelings of like, this is really hard. How do I even tell my parents with everything that they have going on? And then having my parents' stuff go on and then not telling Declan about any of it because just don't need him having the ups and downs on top of everything also, because he had a great freaking week last week at school. I can't like chance things bringing him down again. Anyhow, yeah, so just still hard stuff going on in life, but I think that kind of brings us to what we want to talk about today with just self-care through different stages in motherhood. Like, you've got preteens, we both have kindergartner, pre-K age, and then little, and now us trying to get pregnant again and what that's going to be looking like. And I can tell you, my self-care was very, very much not great, but also like the most I've had in a while during this miscarriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you thinking most right now with this, Linda?
Oh, goodness. I think there's just giving myself as much understanding as possible.
Yeah.
Realizing, hey, this is the first time I've parented a 13-year-old.
Right.
And then at the same time, realizing that just because I've parented 3 2-year-olds before and now have a 4th, they're actually all completely different as well.
You throw in the mix, you have a girl now after 3 boys.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I think about the motherhood stages. So, obviously from pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and then letting go as they grow into toddlers and then start school. And then there's a lot of letting go that's required through all stages of motherhood. I think sometimes in the most unusual ways. And when we try to control too much, I think our self-care can feel really dampened by that, for me as well. So if I'm trying to control too much of mothering and not just taking each situation as it comes, I definitely feel that doesn't do me any favors at all, because I'm more stressed and more worried about getting it right and not realizing that they're all their own little people as well. Right. They've all got little individual personalities and character traits and experiences, and you can say the same thing, say the same story to 100 people and they'll all hear it differently. And the same goes for parenting as well. Yeah.
When you're in those days of like recognizing that you are trying to do too much controlling over all of life for all of the kiddos in every stage, and then you're trying to squeeze in that self-care, is that the space where you don't worry about your control then and you just kind of let it be what it is? Like, is that the space you let control go, or are you still trying to control how your self-care goes?
A bit of both. I think it's not so much controlling of the children or my mothering or parenting. It's more controlling the tasks of how much I want to get done or think I can get done while also having a gazillion interruptions at the same time. And then getting frustrated by that. So that's when I know that's more of what I'm talking about, because there's so many phases of motherhood with any age, I think.
Yeah.
Even a 30-year-old child, I would
The
expect.
control freaky of you want things done that are done because it makes you feel a little safer and like that things are actually happening and not discombobulated. Yeah.
Yeah. And there are times when I feel like my options are a little bit limited in the sort of self-care I can do, or the sort of tasks I can get done, or how much I can get done, depending on what else is happening, depending on where I am in my cycle, depending on whether it's raining outside, depending on who has slept last night or who hasn't, who's eaten, who's needing their bum wiped 3 times instead of 1, or, like, there's just so many variables in all stages of motherhood. And right now I'm looking around and thinking, God, the preteens make more mess than the 2 and the 5-year-old. Like, it literally came out tonight, and I'm like, there's wrappers of empty packets. Like, oh my gosh, it drives me nuts. Because I'll look in the cupboard and think, oh yeah, I've got bread, but it's actually an empty packet in the cupboard. Or, oh yeah, I've got enough. And no, not true.
We're in that clothes are everywhere phase that he just gets dressed.
Oh yeah.
To get dressed and leaves the clothes. I'm like, why do I have piles of clothes everywhere? Where are your clothes?
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, it's and then I'm doing another load of washing again.
Just doesn't stop. Gosh,
It
yeah.
doesn't stop. Just not stop. So yeah, it's ongoing. I don't think I really felt like I answered your question very well, but as far as my self-care and trying to control that, was that what you asked originally?
Like you like you've been doing a lot more reading over the last year or so, I'd say at this point now, as a piece of your self-care. Because you're not writing as much, so you're looking for that creativity piece and creating your stories come to life then as you read them. And for me, as I get to know you more and also understanding like how I would be trying to let go of that control freaky of everything, sitting down with a book and getting lost in that feels like I would be able to let go of that control freaky. So like what else is all happening around the other outside of that book when you have it up to your face? Like the kids are going ahead and, they don't have that structure right for this moment where I'm in a book. And it kind of just like, I think of myself then of this past couple of weeks, what did I do? I vegged out, when you're on your period to begin with, you want comfort foods and you're like just trying to give your body what it's looking for. And it's never really nutritious because we don't want the nutritious stuff. We want the feel good stuff. So that's what I did for like 12 weeks. And I didn't move off the couch and I just lost the control freaky part. I let Declan go ahead and run amok. So like when we're finding that control freaky in the different stages, what is it looking like for our self-care then? And are we still trying to stay control freaky and like, this has got to be structured self-care, or are you just vegging out on the couch just to, with a book or whatever it might be, just to let go of that little bit of structure for even yourself.
2 seconds. I've lost my speakers.
Oh, you're good. So,
there we go.
Yeah, I don't know if that's coming through for you while you've been trying to, still manage a house of preteen a 5-year-old, my goodness, almost 5-year-old. Gosh, his birthday is coming up.
Just had it. So yeah.
Had it just here.
Yeah,
My gosh.
yeah. And there'll be times when I'll look up or I'll be stuck into my book maybe for even just half an hour or so, and I'll look up and I'll be like, oh, like, what happened here?
Like a magical pile of debris behind from a child.
Yeah, like when you go out to the garden and then you come back in at the end of the day and you're like, oh, now I've got to face. Yeah, because as much as they enjoy getting outside with me at that time, if like in the wind, they've been preferring to actually be inside and then when they're inside and I'm outside, they're just left to their own devices. And yes, there is definitely that element there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's such a balance. And while we're talking about self-care through motherhood stages, there's that differentiation between, obviously postpartum is really special, let's say, in many aspects. But I feel like no matter what motherhood stage you're in, there are days when self-care's bloody hard.
Yeah.
Or just non-existent, or like just whatever you can get. 5 minutes here or there. And then on other days, like the other night, I think I had to wait till about 10 to 11 before everyone had finally settled down and I could pick up my book. And by that stage, I was so tired anyway. I got through like half a page. Yeah, fell asleep. So I was really annoyed when that sort of thing happens. But you've got to just try to let it go a little bit as much as possible.
Yeah.
Not sacrificing.
And, this time around with the amount of time that I had knowledge of the pregnancy before we lost it, so it was really only a week. We found out like 4 weeks, literally 6 days later, I started the miscarriage. But there was so much that we started thinking about because it was our second time, and it was second miscarriage now within a year. So we got excited real fast, but also like I had my reservations because I started thinking, I'm like, what is this going to be like? One, it's during a time that things are really heavy for us with my dad's health right now. So what does that look like?
Yeah.
How am I going to be able to emotionally handle this with my 5-year-old on top of school drop-offs being miserable? Like there is so much heavy in that emotional aspect that how was I going to make sure I took care of myself in pregnancy with self-care? So those thoughts start immediately happening. But also then, like, I'm also, because I know how it was the first time for me in postpartum, I know I'm susceptible to it happening again if I'm not prepared. Because, the more past depression and anxiety you have, the more prevalent it will be later on in life. Potentially, the chances are greater. So I'm immediately in this 1 week span of knowing I'm pregnant, thinking, how am I going to set myself up for good self-care in postpartum? Because that's what I lacked the first time around. And it makes me now think about, what didn't I do? What didn't I know when I was, newly a mom with Declan, and how am I going to do that with a 6-year-old, where birthdays are going to be around the same time? Like, this is going to be nuts. And it doesn't matter how far along you are. You automatically start thinking about things once you've experienced it one time. And it was a lot in my head, just trying to like fish through that. And also at the same time, trying to do self-care immediately to make sure that I was, taking care of myself, because that's the biggest thing. And then you go through the loss and it's like, well, I still got to take care of myself. And all I want to do is lay in the bed and not move. So how do I, continue taking care of myself and giving myself that space that I know I'm going to need to get better?
It's a lot of questions.
Yeah. Even if we're not going through a loss, like you said before, this is the first time you're parenting a 13-year-old. Like that's can be a little scary. It's the first time we're parenting this age with or without multiples below them.
Yep.
I don't know how to help Declan do better at getting into school in the mornings. And I don't know what made him switch to not have a problem all of a sudden one day.
Yep.
And then it's okay. I was prepared to, keep walking to help us a little bit of self-care for me after a really bad drop off. And now I'm like, my walk is changed because it's a different situation now because the drop off's not bad anymore. It's a good thing. So how do I shift what I was expecting it to be like in self-care outcomes to, all of a sudden switch it like this? I'm like, this is rough, these ups and downs with the kids. And gosh, it's like, was I like my poor mother?
Yeah. When even just like toilet training, I'm like,
oh my God,
how do I do this? Or what do I do? Like, I don't, what happened and where do I, I'm just like, they're all really different. And you could have 11 children and school drop off might be terrible for all of them, but it was a different thing that was the problem for all of them as well. Like you just, it's weird. Yeah, very tricky to think about one clear answer to a lot of those questions of how do you fit in self-care and how do you predict for the postpartum period and how do you, I don't think there's a definite answer. I'm sorry.
Definitely not. And and we say this every time, I feel like in every episode, because we want listeners to know that it's available, but it's a great tool for us when we're forgetting that, this is the first time we're doing something. But I thought about it. I was like, oh, thank God. I just have the 10 things I don't have to think about that we've already figured out that I know will work as good self-care. Because I'm in the middle of it. I'm like, what can I do to feel better right now? And yes, I know walking outside in the grass barefoot, like I like to do, but I'm in a season where that's not happening anymore for a while because it's so cold outside. I will get frostbite on my feet. I don't want that. So what are my other options? And I have my popsicle sticks, but they're not in the same room as me all the time. So having that, just handy to remember, that's on my phone, pull it out real quick and be like, okay, what would Linda and I do if we were on the podcast right now? What would I say to myself? So I'm glad that I had that last week to just remember, oh, we could just do a dance break real quick. Let's just turn the music up and wiggle it all out. So if you're in that space of needing that, Linda, I hope you're pulling it out too. And you're like, what else are we going to do other than read right now? Reach out. We have the email address. It's mucked@myselfcarepodcast@gmail.com. It's right down below in the show notes. Reach out. We'll send you over our list of our favorites that you could just do when you don't have to think about it, because all these different stages of motherhood, it's hard to think about other things, especially ourselves.
Yep, exactly. Yes, Jill, thank you. And I appreciate all of these conversations as part of my self-care as well. And just thinking about
an easy button for you too listening.
Thinking about those different motherhood stages and what that means for our self-care, and just remembering that sometimes we just got to take it as it comes, and you got to take the good with the bad, as the 5-year-old likes to say. So Jill, until next week.
We hope you can unstuck your Mac.
Bye.
Bye.